try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
Well, Freak Nation, NASCAR answers your call, and you're still griping about what they did. We'll explain coming up in moments. Statman, Crash Gladys, Kenny Sargent, Richard C. Suave, we're all here for you in the Freak Nation. Lucas Oil Studios, watching us on MAV TV, YouTube, Facebook Live, listening to us on the Freak Radio Network. Thank you guys for hanging out. We're on every social media app that you can imagine, right there at Speed Freaks or official Speed Freaks on YouTube. On our description of this show on YouTube, you'll see that once again, we prove that we are the motorsports go-to source all over the planet. In this show, we have the president of IMSA, WeatherTech IMSA Sports Car Series. We have your pole sitter for the Rolex 24-hour. We have your points leader in the 250 Supercross Series and your winner from San Francisco last week, Jordon Smith's going to be here. Plus, I got a bone to pick with NASCAR fans that will continue to be and moan about what NASCAR is doing. Suave, Crasher, Statman.
Hey, wait a minute. Just let's be honest here. Aren't they just emulating their favorite drivers who also moan and whine and complain about every change that NASCAR makes?
Well, that's a Statman conversation that would probably dig about a 6-minute rabbit hole. But the problem that happened was it came out thanks to Bob Pockrass, our insider when it comes to NASCAR, put it out there on Twitter that NASCAR is not going to allow anybody in to watch qualifying for the Clash coming up that first Saturday of February. No one's going to be allowed in.
After the format was changed and some big races were moved from Sunday to Saturday.
So NASCAR fans, we're up my goodness, I haven't seen a freaking Twitter blow up like this in a long damn time. All right, so NASCAR heard your calls, Twitter, Freak Nation, NASCAR Nation, and they said, okay, we're going to open it up now. Free of charge. Go grab your seat on Saturday at the Coliseum to watch qualifying for the Clash. And what do? You bitch and moan again because it's free. Oh, I can see us all fighting for these seats. Look at the crowd from last year. You couldn't even see people sitting in the seats. Yet NASCAR fans are still griping. Jeff Gluck was reposting a lot of these responses on Twitter, another great insider for NASCAR and motorsports. But you guys, I didn't see women bitching and moaning. I saw a bunch of dudes griping. Oh, what? You're opening the gates to nefarious people. These people coming off the streets and watching. So what? So freaking what? If people off the streets, if people are coming from that neighborhood to watch a NASCAR race, they're sitting in the seats, they're buying concession stands, and they're seeing something that they have never seen before if they're new fans. So kiss my big behind.
Wait a minute. The argument was people from the neighborhood, South Central LA. That was the argument?
They didn't say South Central. They said anybody off the street could come in, Crasher. Anybody off the street is right there in South Central. All right?
Yeah, but
the implication of the argument was that.
Go ahead, Stat.
Yeah, that was the implication of the argument, was that somebody was going to come in and they didn't want somebody to come in if they could get in free. They would rather have people that could pay and would enjoy paying, and that's what they wanted. So, yes.
Motorsports is constantly in a battle with football. And now Taylor Swift had to come in and make football even more popular. So motorsports, get off what you believe to be a high horse, fans I'm talking about, and just understand that any new eyeball is amazing for the sport.
Crasher, hold on just a second. We're going to play the Ben Kennedy video from Twitter and again, let you decide. NASCAR is listening to you.
Yeah.
They answered your call.
Be happy with that.
Here is Ben Kennedy. That sounds
Hey, race fans, we've heard you loud and clear. I am happy to announce that on Saturday, February 3rd at the LA Coliseum, we're going to be opening our gates free to the public for practice, qualifying, and heat races for NASCAR Mexico Series and the NASCAR Cup Series. That is regardless of if you have a ticket to Sunday or not. And if you're thinking about coming out to Sunday, but you haven't bought a ticket yet, you can go to NASCARclash.com. We have our NASCAR Mexico Series, which for the first time is to be coming to the LA Coliseum. The last chance race for our NASCAR Cup Series. And of course, our headliner, the Busch Light Clash at the Coliseum, which is going to run that Sunday afternoon. In addition to that, we're going to have Machine Gun Kelly and Dylan Francis performing. So it's going to be a really special day. I look forward to seeing them.
Okay, I get it. Ben Kennedy, one of the executives with NASCAR. They heard you. They heard your call, man. Listen, we all will admit, don't go to a 4-shot or a single shot on this, Richie. Keep it at a 4-shot because I want Statman and Crasher and you to chime in, Richie. When we started Speed Freaks, we were a thorn in NASCAR's side. We were one of the motorsports insiders that weren't afraid to call out NASCAR for what we saw and what we frankly thought it was, which was a motorsports series neglecting an audience that had no idea what NASCAR was. And they were doing it in whether they knew it or not, in a demeaning way sometimes. Mm-hmm. Now, what we've seen, the evolution of NASCAR over the last 4 years, they are night and freaking solar from what they were. NASCAR, they're not putting the Clash behind a freaking wall for $1 million race.
Oh,
and want to charge you $1,000 if you can get a ticket to watch a freaking race. They're letting people who haven't seen a damn NASCAR race come in and sit in a seat for free. For freaking free. And Stat Crash, yours truly, we've been griping at NASCAR the first 15 years of Speed Freaks. And now they're doing so many things right. They hear you. They change for you. Yet you still find a way to gripe? Go watch freaking reruns of Beverly Hillbillies, will you? Go watch reruns of freaking MASH. That's where you belong, in the freaking 60s.
Okay.
No.
How do you really feel?
I thought I was the only one that was allowed to use that IndyCar reference. And there
it just came to me.
Talking about a race behind gates.
My goodness.
Where the only tickets, 5,000 of them, are for more than $1,000 each. Okay, I see what you did there. That's an hour and a half down the road from the Coliseum as well.
Go outside and beat the wall with your fist instead of bitching at NASCAR. Go out there and just go whoop some dude's ass that needs his butt whooped, as opposed to going after somebody that's listening to you, kowtowing to you. Kowtowing in NASCAR, those were mutually
synonymous.
They were not synonymous. They were mutually exclusive back then, right? Kowtowing and NASCAR. Last time I used kowtow here or whatever. Mutual. Okay, you get my point, don't you? Woo!
Wow. Somebody throw some water on that dude. It's hot as fire tonight.
Pipo Derani, your pole sitter for the Daytona 24-hour, will be joining us next. You want to bitch about the fact that IMSA qualified with... Did they open the stands for fans for that? Yes.
They did.
People from Daytona Beach are going to come in that've never seen a qualifying race. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, one of the country's historically black colleges are within a couple of miles of the front gate at Daytona Speedway, and they don't have any problem opening the gates.
The Statman had to spell it out for you. So I hope if you're watching this or if you're listening to this on the Freak Radio Network and you were griping about NASCAR opening the doors on a Saturday after they were not going to, I hope you feel like a piece of rotten cheese about now.
Careful.
Yeah. I know. I've already had 3 or 4 calls in the first 9 minutes from our good friends at MAV TV telling me to cool my jets.
No, you didn't. Come on, keep that up.
Just roll with it, Crafter.
I know,
You
but
want
come on. No. Wait, passion like that needs to be kept. Come on. Just.
Does anybody feel any different?
No.
Richie? Does the millennial feel any different?
No.
Why am I the only one hammering the a-holes that were doing this?
No.
Because you didn't give us any time to talk.
You absolutely nailed it. And I will make a comparison. Back in the day, the Phoenix Suns used to have open practices all the time. They used to open their arena for free prior to the season, and you could go, you donate your can of food, and it was awesome. And I went with my dad like every year to this Phoenix Suns open practice, and it was a great time. And you know what? There's a lot of kids there that were there for free, and it made me a fan of the Phoenix Suns because of that. NASCAR should be happy. This was the only decision they made. I can't believe they didn't make this decision to begin with, and it took them more people bitching online to open it up for free to begin with. But they made the right decision, and all those jerks that were saying anything else and can go eat crow.
Well, hold on a second. Before we move any further, Richie, are you reverting back to NASCAR in the 70s with that open collar disco look you've got going on? Look at that. What, he's showing some chest here? If you're watching us on MAV, I don't know. It just looks like you're trying to go all John Travolta. Where's your gold chain, bro?
I think I look good. Because if I zip it all the way up, that's like.
Well, don't zip it. Just move your collar a little bit. No, you look like a dork. Zip it back down, but move your collar.
Just moved from one rabbit hole to the other. Did a little side drill there, and opened up a whole nother rabbit hole.
All right, we got a break. Pipo Derani, one of the baddest dudes ever to drive a sports car. Next, SpeedFreaks Pits, Lucas Oil Studio.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas fuel treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system, pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas fuel treatment. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up for one amazing party. Go to WWTRaceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
details.
You're listening to Speed Freaks Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Well, as promised, Freak Nation, Pipo Derani joining us here in the Freak Nation. One of a few drivers sitting on the pole. All right, his team sitting on the pole for the 2024 Daytona 24-hour here in the Freak Nation. And Pipo, we were talking earlier before we went on, was according to all of our stat folks, this is your 10th pole in IMSA. But, brother, the number of times we've had you in the Freak Nation with wins and poles and everything else, it feels like about 20. This is getting old hat for you, going out there and winning these poles in star fashion. Is this something that you're just getting used to?
No, it never gets old. You know, I hope that we can keep doing that for many, many years. But, I mean, just so glad to be starting on pole here at Daytona. It's my first pole here at Daytona, despite having started on pole when we did the race at the Roar to decide the grid for the 24 a few years back. But this is actually the first pole position on a normal qualifying here at Daytona for myself. So, yeah, really happy with that. You know, it's been a great winter for us as a team, obviously enjoying the championship, but quite quickly getting back on our toes and trying to improve the things that we thought we had to for this year. And so it's great to be starting the year on pole.
Pipo, I'm not trying to diminish anything with this question, but how important is the pole realistically for a 24-hour race? It seems like this race over the last at least 15 years has turned into a 24-hour sprint. So is it good to be up front to begin with because everybody goes so fast throughout, or is it just another statistic?
No, I think in this race here in particular, you know, with so many yellows and so on, it's not the most important thing for you to be on pole at all. Obviously, within 30 minutes into the race, we can see a yellow and things can change. But I think it's important for us as a team to know that we have a fast car and that Cadillac has given us a fast car. So that in itself, it's great because we know that we're going to go through the race and then eventually, you know, we're going to get to the end, hopefully, and we will know that we have a car to fight. If you start at the very back, then you need a bit more luck when time comes in terms of pace to attack for a race win. So I think obviously not important at all for the race itself of how the race goes, but important that we are quick and the pole position proves that. So yeah, I guess you guys can understand a bit what I meant, right?
No, that's absolutely a valid point. It's okay. First of all, you referenced this in your answer prior that you're coming off of, you know, winning the championship. So you've got a momentum boost again. You said you had a great off season. So all of this is just further checking those boxes and proving that, yeah, we're still the ones to beat. You still got to chase our tail and you got to do it starting at Daytona. So yeah, I would imagine that it's just good to get this done with and now focus on the race. So give us a little insight as to what you're going to be going through this week. You got the pole taken care of. What do you guys do this week leading up to 24 hours in a race?
Party!
Besides that.
Well, it's jokes aside, we now focus on race, right? There's things that you do to the car to obviously prepare it for qualifying, and then you start completely changing your mindset, even the car itself for the race. You know, you don't race with such low fuel from the very beginning of the race like you do in qualifying. So that alone, it's already a very different car to drive. So qualifying is great because you get to experience the GTP at its peak, you know, at the best it can be. But then come race, you're obviously gonna be doing stints full of fuel and running the fuel down. And then by the time you get with low fuel, you have old tires, and so all these things get into the equation now for the race. And we are obviously now, once qualifying is passed, we start thinking about how are we going to optimize our package for this other type of track running, which is the race. You have tire management, you have fuel mileage, and all those things that will come into play with the strategy if you want to win the race at the end. So, but again, you have to have a balance as well to not go too far off and lose the speed that you showed in qualifying. So it's that work that we're going to be doing during this week to hopefully start the race with the best package possible.
Pipo Derani is the pole sitter for the Rolex 24. Pipo, when do you start racing the other guys, or do you can't spend the whole 24 hours racing yourself? When do you start figuring out who's my competition and what do I have to do to stay on in front of them?
Well, I think you're going to get a pretty good feel of that through the first 15, 16 hours of the race, but you only really are going to start focusing on or understanding your real competition once you come, once Sunday morning comes. Because I think obviously the track also changes so much from the beginning of the race to the next day that you might have a good car in the beginning and a car that's not so fast on the second day of the race, or vice versa. And so you start. It's a process, right? You learn that throughout the race, but once you get to the last more or less 8 to 6 hours of the race is when you start realizing who's really quick and who's gonna be your main rivals for the win. But you to be there first, you gotta go through the night, which is a special thing in its own, and it takes a big toll in the team and the mechanics and everyone who stays up from early Saturday morning. Um, and by that time everyone's already quite tired and drivers included. So it's a really difficult race because of it. It's a 24-hour race. It's cold, so we're suffering with that as well normally here. So it's very interesting how the race plays out. But I would say, again, going back to your question, I would say the last 6 hours of the race is when you start really picking up the pace.
Wow, this may show my naivete, but I thought it would be from the gate when they drop the green flag and you dive into turn one. That's a pretty slow turn, that left-hand turn down there. You're not looking at everybody else and saying, beat this.
Well, obviously at the start you want to get out of turn one with the lead, so you obviously fight a little bit with them, but quite quickly, within a few laps, you're already starting to hit traffic, and then you get into that rhythm of, we got to go through 18 hours of the race before we even can start thinking about it. So you have obviously moments during the race where you need to be aggressive for one reason or another and overtake somebody for strategy and pit stops. But um, most likely after, let's say, the first 30 minutes of the race, which normally is quite aggressive between all the drivers because everyone's pumped up to start the race and excited, then you fall into okay, now we got to get to the next day. And then again at the very end, last 6 hours, you start picking up the pace again, and everyone starts fighting just as they did in the first 30 minutes of the race. So it's quite an interesting race to go through. One that, like I said, you have to pay big tolls to survive. The track is very narrow. There's so many cars on track, so it's not an easy one. But yeah, it's one that if you get to the next day already, you are feeling good about your chances, and you hope that you can go for the win at the very end.
Pipo Derani joining us here in the Freak Nation, sitting on the pole for the 2024 24-hour coming up next weekend. Have you guys already come up with a schedule on your stints on when you're going to drive to kick off the 24?
I'm pretty sure the team has. Obviously, with me qualifying the car, I have to start. That's a rule of the championship. Qualifying driver starts the race, but we haven't sat down yet to discuss who's next and how we're gonna rotate between us. That's gonna definitely come.
What does Pipo want to do? What the hell what stints do you want, bro? I know you want to kick it off and finish the race, right?
Well, I wanna do the beginning, then
Mhm.
I wanna go to sleep for about 15 hours and come back to the end. How does that sound?
Sounds incredibly honest. I love it.
Especially if it's rainy, we want to put Tom in. He's the third driver, so he can handle all these tough moments.
You take the rain.
Pipo, be honest with me. Have you ever almost fallen asleep in one of these endurance races in the car?
In the car, not fallen asleep, obviously, but I have had moments where we had very long periods of time behind safety car in the rain, and you're obviously not pushing yourself. You're not, let's say, exercising, and you want to pee. You start getting cold, and it's really not very nice when you have those moments. You don't necessarily get tired because obviously still behind the safety car you have a lot of adrenaline, but you do get
Just drops like dropping a mic. He just drops the damn phone. All right.
Yeah, well, he fell asleep behind the pace car. What can I do?
When he had to pee. All right, Freak Nation, go to single shot. There we go. That's how we roll here in the Freak Nation. Hey, coming up, we have last week's Supercross winner. Jordon Smith will be here in the Freak Nation. If you remember, this dude was in the Mudfest in San Francisco. It's an incredible win for him. He'll be joining us here in the Freak Nation, 250 winner from last week. And next hour, speaking of IMSA, John Doonan, your president of IMSA WeatherTech Series, he'll be joining us here in the Freak Nation. We're going mud riding. Coming up, Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has been solving some of the most difficult mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial industries. From our original Core 4 products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering, stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, we have now developed over 400 custom products to help solve some of the world's toughest mechanical issues. Go to lucasoil.com to see what we have in store for you. Lucas Oil, it works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up for one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
The Freaks and Stat Man are taking you behind the scenes this week to the man behind the curtain. This time it's John Moore Speed Performance in Columbus, Ohio, and that's Vicky, a former cop car that's been converted to drag racing, even with a lifted chassis and more than 100 pounds of off-road tires in front. This dyno test is in preparation for Sick Week in Florida at the end of the month. Competitors leave their sport behind in Orlando and drive to 4 drag strips in Florida and Georgia. That means the cars must be street legal. The winner is the best average of all the passes on each strip. John did well last year and wants more this year, hence the rebuild and this week's dyno test. Here's the money pool. That's 1,200 horsepower. John thinks there's more and thinks it's good enough to run in the mid-8s, making Vicky 2 tons of fun. Peace.
Love that. That man, Scat, and Vicky, that old cop car, brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. Do yourself a favor, Freak Nation. Go to GeneralTire.com and check out their line of tires to keep your rides fat and happy on the road with this winter weather that we got going on right now. Go to GeneralTire.com. Crasher, how about some pit news and
You
notes?
expect me to follow that up?
It's tough. Why don't you just do
Vicky.
pit?
Vicky.
Do pit news and notes on Vicky and the cop car.
Well, all I see is off-road tires in the front of that baby.
Yeah.
And that's expected to go down 4 drag strips. And wow.
Sick week.
Wow.
It's sick week.
Sick week. That is sick week. Well, we've got, aside from sick week, that's in the future, we've got, let's see, an American and a super old dude winning Dakar. That's coming up in a bit. Supercross and Arena Cross, both just seasons going bonkers. And like you saw last segment, oh, hi there, IMSA Sports Cars. They've entered the chat now, too. Let's start in Daytona, where qualifying wrapped up for next weekend's Rolex 24 Hours. Ben Keating credited the ideal weather conditions for his quick times in LMP2. He bested his class to sit on the grid's top spot. And over in GTP land, all 9 prototypes, listen to that again, all 9 prototypes smashed the 5-year-old track record. So the best of the smashers, you just heard from him, Pipo Derani and the championship defending Cadillac. Derani lapped the road course more than a second faster than the record. They were flying. Everybody was flying in Daytona this weekend. How about this? 2 years ago, Parker Thompson was a spotter at Daytona, but this weekend he became pole sitter in the GTD class for Lexus. GTD Pro's top billing went to Porsche and Seb Priault steering. All right, we had a Vicky just a little bit ago. Seb Priault was steering Rexy to the stripe. There's racing all week at the World Center of Racing, but the 62nd running of the Daytona 24 Hours will start Saturday, the 27th at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Supercross rounded their 3rd race of the season in San Diego, where mud, yet again, complicated runs, and the drama was on full tilt. Everybody's talking about Jet Lawrence and Jason Anderson. Enough, guys. Guess what? Aaron Plessinger won his first 450 Supercross race. And oh, aside from the win and doing it off of SpeedFreaks Mojo, he's also the points leader. He's the freaking points leader. Can we talk more about Aaron Plessinger? Okay, I am going to talk a little bit more about him because he deserves some of this. In Jet's shadow at A1, the season opener, Aaron Plessinger was the most consistent rider in the whoops. Then San Francisco last week in the mud, he just continued his dominant form. This is just an Aaron Plessinger that we haven't seen before. And then he won the race this weekend in San Diego. Aaron Plessinger, the cowboy, making it happen. In the 250s, the leaders kept swapping positions throughout the race, but in the end, Kenny's favorite name in all of motorsports right now. No, not Marcus Gronholm. I said in motorsports right now, Nate Thrasher.
Dang it.
Your boy, Nate Thrasher, with the dub. Arena Cross in Oklahoma was mega as well. Of course, all action can be seen on MAV TV Friday and Saturday nights. Our guy, Aaron Simoneau, took the B main. Then the features were split between Ryan Brees and Kyle Peters. All the riders, or many of them at least, are staying in Guthrie as next weekend, same location, round 7. Sticking with two-wheelers, America's Ricky Brabeck won his second Dakar rally after just, I don't know another word besides grueling, almost 5,000 miles across Saudi Arabia. Brabeck's total time, 51 hours, 30 minutes, and 8 seconds, plus or minus a 1-minute penalty. But here's a Dakar story for you F1 fans out there, all right? Winning his 4th overall Dakar with as many manufacturers, 61-year-old Carlos Sainz, dad of Formula One driver Carlos Sainz Jr.
Badass.
He ended an hour and 20 minutes and 25 seconds ahead of second place. And he did so without taking a win in any of the final 12 stages. Wow. Just mind-blowing. Carlos Sainz, now the oldest ever winner, breaking his own record, by the way, from, was it 2020, I believe? Carlos Sainz, the oldest winner in Dakar history.
That is sick. Crash Gladys Pit News and Notes brought to you by good friends at Lucas Oil. Go to lucasoil.com to check out a line of products that keeps your 2 wheels, your 4 wheels, your speedboat down there in Florida. Speaking of sick week or sick day or sick weekend, a share of Lucas Oil products keep all of your rides fat and happy. Go to lucasoil.com. Proud partners of the Freaks.
For 22 years?
Yes.
A little
Sounds good
bit,
to me.
just a little bit.
Yeah. We have Jordon Smith, your 250, your Supercross 250 points leader, and your winner from weekend before last, San Francisco, in the Mudfest. He's going to be joining us coming up in about 10 minutes. He'll be here at the Freak Nation. John,
and in the Mudfest in San Diego this weekend, I know I just said Nate Thrasher won the 250s. Jordan was still on the podium, third place.
And the next hour, John Doonan, IMSA president, will be here in the Freak Nation. And speaking of IMSA, real quick here, curious, Statman, Crasher, Suave, what's your take on this? We talked about this in our little pre-show meeting about with the success of the Garage 56 project. And frankly, if you're not familiar with that, Big Bill France, back in the day, early 70s, he wanted to design a race car, a stock car, a cup car that would fit within the parameters of sports cars, specifically a 24-hour Le Mans, right? And it came to light, came to fruition last year. And John Doonan with IMSA, along with NASCAR, and a number of other engineers and drivers and crew chiefs, former crew chiefs in NASCAR, put this car together that had fantastic success at Le Mans. Resounding success. Not only winning on the track, but as John Doonan will point out next hour, their pit crew winning the Pit Crew Challenge at the 24. It goes through the stuff again. The Pit Crew Challenge at 24-hour Le Mans. But here's the question for you, Freak Nation. Statman, if you've got 30, 45 seconds to elaborate, why hasn't NASCAR capitalized on this, not just now, but maybe a few years ago, about establishing a class in IMSA? NASCAR owns IMSA. Right. Establishing a class for the Cup car to run in the Daytona 24 or to run in the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Series, Statman.
Well, I've thought about this a while since we said we were going to have this as a part of our conversation tonight. And a number of things are a problem. IMSA is very popular. A lot of people are standing in line to race in IMSA. But if you added another class, you have to wonder whether or not the tracks that they race on will have the facilities to support those cars. Like they have 59 cars that are entered in the Rolex 24 next weekend. And you got to wonder whether or not there's enough pits, whether there's enough garages, whether there's enough everything to support all of that. And I think that's a problem that they've got to address. From what I'm told, the conversations have been held several years ago, many years ago, before the current administration was running NASCAR. But I think it's all kind of on hold right now. They just don't know if they have enough resources to support another class.
We've got about 45 seconds. Crasher,
Okay,
go.
I need to make a point, though. You said IMSA is very popular. It is. And drivers are standing in line to drive an IMSA. Okay, case in point, we have sports car drivers from all around the world right now. We have 12 IndyCar drivers in this year's 24 Hours of Daytona. 0 NASCAR drivers for the first time in several years.
Yeah.
0 NASCAR
But
drivers.
imagine if you went to the Long Beach, they race at Long Beach. They don't have enough space at Long Beach for what's there now. So they have to take and pick and choose what classes they want to run. And to put more cars out there might be difficult.
Keep your eye on it, Freak Nation. Who knows? It may change in the next 2-3 years. We'll see. Freak Nation, the Mudfest happened weekend before last in San Francisco, but who cares? This guy's your 250 Supercross points leader. Jordon Smith. Dude is awesome. Joins us next. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studio.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Hey Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil parts cleaner and degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil power steering fluid?
You know, they'll have that too.
Even the octane booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text BIT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Freak Nation, it's his first time joining us here in the Lucas Oil Studios. Jordon Smith, your 250 winner from the Mudfest in San Francisco. Jordon, are you still cleaning dirt, mud out of orifices in your body, given what happened last weekend in San Francisco and that Mudfest in the 250s?
Yeah, I had to get home and get an extra good shower because our hotel shower wasn't that great because the drain was like kind of stopped up, so you only had a few minutes to get a shower before it started overflowing. So, but yeah, no, it was muddy, but I'm all cleaned up and ready to go again in San Diego.
Well, let's talk about San Francisco. And again, it's a big win for you. We get it. But as big as that win was, a lot of people still talking about the weather, the rain, the mud. This might be a rhetorical question, but it sounds like you were better prepared to run in the mud than a lot of those other riders. Or was it just the luck of some of the things that you did on the track immediately?
Yeah, I mean, it always takes a lot of luck for sure to win a race like that, a complete mudfest. I mean, that was pretty much just survival out there. So, but my team, Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing, does a really good job in conditions like that. They take everything into consideration, and yeah, it was awesome. And you know, I think that in years past, I haven't been the best mud rider, but this year, going in, getting a good start, executing like I did is just a testament to the preparation and the work that we put in as a team this offseason and how prepared I am for this year.
Jordon, I remember you saying something like that on the podium as well, that you did not consider yourself a great mud racer, well, until now. But what was it with the team? How were you guys as a team? So how do you guys as a team gel before what is set to be a pretty challenging weekend?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I just have to trust in my team because they've been there, done that. They have a lot of championships on the wall, on the door of that rig, and they have those championships for a reason. And just trust in them. Also trust in the experience that I have racing in those throughout my career. I've been doing it for quite a while, and I have to lean on my experience as well. And, you know, it comes down to tire changes, suspension changes, you know, making decisions on the clutch, that sort of thing. And it was, we made all the right decisions Saturday night.
As the points leader, I know we still have a small sample size. We're just a couple races into the season, but as the points leader, how do you look at the rest of this season and who's going to be your biggest competition? Who are you going to be a little cautious racing next to, and who are you just going to basically pin it against?
Yeah, I mean, the plan is to try and pin it against everyone, right? But, I mean, you know, I've raced all these guys quite a bit in my career, especially RJ. And, you know, he's going to be really good. I trained all year last year at our training facility in Cairo, Georgia with Levi Kitchen. So I know how he rides a lot as well. And right now they're the two closest to me in the points. So I think, you know, it's still really early. It's 2 rounds in. Anything can happen. But I think it's, you know, as of right now, it's us 3 that, you know, really going to be battling hard. And, you know, Nate will get in there. Joe will get in there. You know, you have Garrett riding really good. So, I mean, there's so much competition this year in our class on this coast. And, yeah, it's going to be a dogfight every week, I think.
Hey, Crasher, hold on just a second. All right. Jordon with an O. Jordon Smith.
You're not going to let him live
250 winner from San Francisco. Listen, whose ass do you want to kick more this year? Just tell me, Jordon.
I want to get all of them, like I said, you know. I mean, you know, you see the stats of me and RJ. We're pretty close in wins, podiums, races, all that. I grew up racing with him since, you know, we were in B class. I mean, really longer than that, since we were little guys at the track in Florida. So, you know, it feels good racing him. I've raced him quite a bit. I know how he races, and yeah, it's always nice to get a little edge on him.
Kenny's always wanting to start rivalries, like angry rivalries, but sometimes you can be buddies out there, and sometimes that leads to better racing because you trust each other when you're side by side more.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely, like I said, I know how these guys race a lot. I haven't raced with Joe a ton, but Nate and I practice every day together, like every single day. Levi and I did for the last year and a half up until this off season. RJ and I have raced since we were 7, 8, 9 years old. So, I have a lot of experience racing all these guys, and I trust them out on the track for sure. So I think it's definitely shaping up for good racing, and I think we're all pretty good starters too. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a dogfight like every race. I think it's just like there's going to be a lot of fast guys up front and a lot of battling.
Stat, I promise, I know you've got several questions to ask Jordon, but the three of us know this. If there were machetes and machine guns available for Chad Reed and James Stewart, there would have been machine guns and machetes and shotguns taken out at each other. Jeremy and Ricky. I mean, bro, I just want you guys to get pissed off at each other from time to time.
Why? We will. I'm sure it'll come down to that at some point. I mean, we'll race each other hard for sure. It's
right.
but it's we all know how wrong it can go, how quickly. We've all been injured pretty bad, especially me and RJ, and had a lot of injuries throughout our career. So I think we're also trying to be smart here early in the season, and as we kind of ramp it up throughout the season and it gets a little closer, I think that you'll see some fireworks.
That's veteran speak. There you go.
There you go.
Dude, our notes say that you were the first one to graduate from arena cross into Supercross in the same season. If that's true, is that something you aimed for? I know competitors all aim to do the best they can, or is that just something that fell in your lap?
Yeah, that was actually a program put in place at the time, kind of like the Supercross Futures now, with the amateur guys having to race and get their points to eventually be able to race a pro Supercross. At the time that I was turning pro, it was kind of my year was the first year that we had to race arena cross to get our points to then race Supercross. So I was required to do 3 arena crosses that year, and wasn't planning on it the years leading into that until we found out about that rule. Went and knocked out those 3 arena crosses really quick, and then turned pro about a month later.
I haven't been to a lot of arena cross races, but it seems like there's a massive step from one to the other for those of us who would never get a chance to make that step. What's that like to go from the bull ring battles in a stadium arena cross versus some of the technology and speed of Supercross?
Yeah, it was a lot different. Like at the arena crosses, for the most part, a lot of them were up north. That I did them in January. A lot of them were pretty far northern in the United States, and it was really cold. So we pitted actually in the arenas, in the kind of the tunnels of the arenas. No trucks, anything like that. You just kind of had all your gear and everything kind of set up in a little bullpen area. And then moving to Supercross, you come with the big rigs and the autograph signings and all that stuff. That was a big step. A lot more fans. The tracks are a lot bigger. As far as the competition goes, obviously Supercross is the best of the best, but they had some really good riders in arena cross at the time too. Some veteran guys that really knew what they were doing. So that could have came to Supercross and finished top 10 for sure. So the competition was pretty stacked both places. But it was a fun time to get to do that. It was a long time ago though, for sure. It was probably 10 years ago now.
So Jordon Smith won a Supercross 250 in the mud in San Francisco. For those of us who will never ride in the competition or otherwise through mud like you went through, mud up to your axles on your bike, I don't know if you took a face plant like some of the other guys did, but what could it possibly be like to just be like a kid and be out there in all of that craziness and swim your way to the finish line?
Yeah, it's to me it's a lot of fun. I like riding and stuff like that. I typically don't like racing in it just because so many things can go wrong. But you don't necessarily get to do that every day at practice. If it rains, you're not going to go out and ride in that stuff most of the time because it's just pretty much thousands of dollars in damage to the bike. So to get the chance to go out and ride in something like that is a lot of fun. It makes it a lot more fun whenever you're leading the race, but also more stressful with about 4 or 5 minutes to go in that race. It was the ruts were getting so deep, and it was really hard with on the finish line jump and stuff with them being really steep, because you come over and you're pretty much blind until you get over the top to see all the ruts at the bottom. So it was really hard to kind of funnel into those and stay straight. But yeah, I executed the best I ever have in a mud race. So I was really happy with that. And like you said, I was a kid in a candy shop out there just playing in the mud.
If you watch the broadcast, you hear Ricky, you hear Carmichael, you hear Diffie, you hear how excited they were for you to win that damn race. It's like, finally, we got Smith in the up on the podium in the top spot. So congratulations on that, buddy.
Thank you. Like I said, it's been a long time coming. A lot of downfalls and a lot of hard work, and a lot of people believing in me and sticking behind me to get back to there.
SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
You take car maintenance seriously, and you want to pass on that legacy of care. Use Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer to shield your engine from excessive heat, debris, and friction. Trust Lucas Oil. It works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network. Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
At Luke's on the things that matter most. Lucas Oil. It works.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We are told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text FIT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You're listening to SpeedFreaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
You take car maintenance seriously, and you want to pass on that legacy of care. Use Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer to shield your engine from excessive heat, debris, and friction. Trust Lucas Oil. It works. You take car maintenance seriously, and you want to pass on that legacy of care.
Please hang up and try again.
Freak Radio Network, broadcasting from the Lucas Oil Studios. Driven by General Tire. It's Speed Freaks. Motorsports Radio redefined with Kenny Sargent.
We love to party.
Crash Gladys.
What are we doing for the bachelorette party?
And Statman.
I am serious.
Here's the Freaks.
It's a big second hour, Freak Nation, coming up. We're going to spend some good time with John Doonan, who is your president of the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Series. He'll be joining us here in the Freak Nation. Dude spent a number of years with Mazda and Mazda Motorsports program. And now, over the last 3 years, been with IMSA. A lot of changes with IMSA for the good. It's good to see John Doonan doing so well with IMSA. He's going to be joining us here in the Freak Nation. Got your Statman Scat. More from Crasher. Probably going to spend about 5 minutes talking about Aaron Plessinger. My gosh, Crasher. The Aaron Plessinger bandwagon with his big win in San Diego Supercross last night.
You brought up how so many people on Twitter were upset at NASCAR. You brought up the Twitter rage.
Yes.
Well, there's been Twitter rage or X rage. What do we? I still can't call it X. Anyway.
Social rage.
There's been social rage over Jet Lawrence and Jason Anderson because they had a little tuss-up in the runoff area or the post. What do you even call that area after you go over the start-finish line or it's the finish line in Supercross, and then you just have that runoff area?
Moments after they cross the finish line.
They got in a fight. Yep. They grabbed each other. It was just crazy. And that's all Twitter wanted to talk about. And I just felt like Plessinger's win wasn't given the credit that it was due. It was a massive win in another mud race, and it's his first ever in 450 Supercross. And with the win, and because of his consistency on the season, he's now the points leader. So I just wanted more Aaron Plessinger talk instead of Jet Lawrence.
All right, and I want to set the record straight, Freak Nation. Crasher tends to use some words from time to time that don't necessarily make sense. I can't. I will figure it out. Yeah, tuss up. I will figure it out by the time we get the hell out of here. Where she came up with tuss up. What was
it was a dust up and a tussle. That's what she was.
Thank you.
There it is. Good job, Suave. Yeah.
He's been around me long enough now. He gets
a millennial translator here.
Statman, he's laughing. Statman came up with Indy Bonics about 20 years ago. Would combo a few of those things. She just did it there. Oh yeah, but I did look
up in a tussle.
But I did look up a tuss up. It's not out there, but it's out there. Someone asked on Twitter.
Not.
Someone did. Yes, someone asked, and it said, "What does tuss up mean?"
Stop it.
Yes, it says to tie the arms and legs of someone together tightly and roughly with a rope to prevent them from moving or escaping. Police said the couple had been also a truss up. Okay. Truss. It's a tuss is a there it is.
Rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Rabbit Central tonight.
That's awesome. Hey, thank you guys for watching us on MAV TV, listening to us on the Freak Radio Network. We're there on every freaking social media app, and proud to say, damn it, we kick some ass on it, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, X, or Facebook. And all of those watching us on Facebook Live, how you doing, man? Speed Freaks on the Freak Radio Network and on MAV TV. Been doing this for over 23 years, Freak Nation. Started on one radio station. Now we're on about 100 stations across the country, including SiriusXM, every audio app in the planet, and, of course, now on MAV TV. One thing that Crasher was referring to last hour, I spent about 5 minutes getting neck-veined and red-faced about a problem I had with NASCAR fans that got after NASCAR after NASCAR heard what they had to say and they changed their freaking mind. What am I talking about? Suave, do we still have Ben Kennedy that you can pull up?
No, we don't need to. It was CEO speak.
It was. Ben Kennedy, one of the executives with NASCAR, heard the complaints from NASCAR fans that NASCAR was going to qualify Saturday, February 3rd, the day before the clash happens at the LA Coliseum. They're going to qualify behind closed doors. No one was going to be allowed in there. They changed up the setup for the clash this year, and not a whole lot of people paid attention to it until Bob Pockrass put it out there on X earlier last week, and people started bitching and moaning that, what? You're going to close the doors? We're not going to be able to watch qualifying?
Well, it's not just qualifying. They changed the format so that heat races would then be on Saturday, but still no people would be allowed to get in to see those heat races.
Is that right, Suave?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Keep going, Crasher.
Well, Suave was the one that was explaining this to us pre-show.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So, yeah, it used to be all heat races, all everything on Sunday. But when they changed and put the heat races on Saturday and then said no people could come in Saturday, that was no bueno.
So what does NASCAR fan? What does Mr. and Mrs. NASCAR fan do after Ben Kennedy with NASCAR says, we heard you? They folded. They got it. They understood where everybody was coming from.
They should have folded, though.
I'm not denying that, Crasher.
Okay.
What I'm pissed off at are the NASCAR fans that are pissed off at NASCAR still. They're pissed that they didn't open the doors. Now they're pissed off they're opening the doors to everyone to come in and fill a 100,000-seat stadium. There's not going to be 10% of that stadium filled Saturday afternoon to watch qualifying and heat races. It's not going to happen. Go back and look at what happened last year. Go look at the crowd in the stands. You could barely see them.
I mean, it was still a decent crowd, and they were mostly new eyeballs to the sport. So, yeah, why wouldn't you welcome new people? If this is their first exposure to any motorsport, bring them in. Who cares? Who cares where they're from? Who cares what exposure they've had in the past? Let them see something fun for once.
You know what this sounds like, Statman? It sounds like Richard C. Suave, where, Richie, you find a band that's breaking out of the Southeast. Not a whole lot of people know about it, but you know about it, the residential. You know about it. But when this band starts to become popular, no, what are you doing liking my band? What? You're going to go see my band for free?
That's true.
Come on. I've been on the bandwagon for 2 years. Screw you for coming and being a fan of my band. When the purpose is to expose that band to the masses, to expose NASCAR to the masses, Statman. That's what the millennials are saying, bro.
Yeah, that's the same thing with the best restaurant in town. Somebody goes on TV and says, hey, this has got great food and you'll love it here. And next thing you know, you can't get your table, you can't get into the place, and the prices go up.
You want to make money? What? You want to stop living out of the back of a van and maybe move into a Motel 6 when you're traveling? No, you're not my band anymore. You're playing to more than 50 people. I heard your song on the radio. No. You're going corporate.
Sellouts.
Yes. So shut up, NASCAR fan.
Had a couple of those experiences.
I have. So you can't. We have railed on NASCAR, rightly or justly, unjustly so, for the first 15, 16 years of us doing this. So much so that from time to time they wouldn't allow us in the garage. Because we were that group that held series account. We had the president of CART kneel and bow down to us because we called their happy ass out for some. Well, I don't need to get into it.
That was 2001.
Yes. And we called out IndyCar about this gated $1 million highfalutin race they're having in Palm Desert Thermal Hot Springs, whatever the hell it is.
Thermal Club, yes.
Thermal Club. Now NASCAR's been listening to you, rightly so, for the last 4 years. Yet you NASCAR fan finds time to bitch about them listening to you. What?
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
You're going to allow people in the gates on Saturday for free to watch the races that I've been watching for 10 years?
Can I read some of the comments quickly that Jeff Gluck reposted
you got
on Twitter?
about 2 minutes. You're good. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, we're good. So
Jeff Gluck, a great follow and a great insider to NASCAR.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
from The Athletic, reposting people's comments about NASCAR opening the gates for free on Saturday.
Yeah.
Just imagine what would happen if Disneyland was open for a day. It will be a bunch of freeloaders.
I got to play sad music.
All right.
It's a terrible move. You don't have the balls to venture into the stands that day. It is going to be a zoo. Bunch of expletives. When it's free to the people to get in, are going to be fine with. Wait, this doesn't even make English sense. Didn't make English sense. Another person said, "How can this not go wrong? People fighting to get in, people fighting for best seats, has disaster written all over."
Fighting for best seats in a 100,000 butt seatable stadium.
But
you're not going to have. Yeah.
Say it, Stat Man.
What'd you call them? Tuss-ups?
There's going to be toss-ups galore in the grandstands.
Tuss-ups are us. There you go.
I like. They're going to be fighting for the seats, bro. It's the Coliseum. The number of special events that have happened inside the Coliseum.
The Olympics.
Carl Lewis.
X Games.
Rayford Johnson, right? Statman Rayford Johnson, right? Yet you think 99,000 NASCAR fans on a Saturday are going to crash the Coliseum fighting for a seat?
Never say never.
Shut up. Going to make some sense here coming up next. His name is John Doonan, president of IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Series. He joins us next. SpeedFreaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios. It's going to be a good one when John joins us here in the Freak Nation. Coming up, SpeedFreaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios and on MAV TV.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
One of the main reasons for poor vehicle performance is a dirty fuel system. It can cause decreased fuel economy and actually do harm to your engine over time. By adding Lucas fuel treatment to your vehicle, it cleans and lubricates the entire fuel system. Pump, carburetors, fuel injectors, and valves as you drive. It also improves your vehicle's performance. It's a non-solvent product designed to protect both gasoline and diesel engines. Lucas Fuel Treatment. It works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers. The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up for one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-296-1251. 800-296-1251. That's 800-296-1251. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio Redefined.
Lucas Oil Studios, Freak Nation, and I hammer it every time I can. Coming up in June, 24 years of doing Speed Freaks, the Freak Radio Network, on MAV TV, on every video channel that you can imagine, social media channel. We're there for you, Freak Nation. John Doonan, who has been a part of the Freak Nation a number of those years, joins us now here with the Freaks. Now he's president of IMSA. And, of course, if you're not familiar with IMSA, I don't need to go into a diatribe, but they sanction the Rolex 24 and among another of other races. And I want to specifically get into that, John Doonan. How much do you have to put the brakes on yourself to not get too excited and over your heels talking about, feeling about, promoting the 24 to realize you got a whole freaking season to pay attention to?
Well, first of all, thrilled to see you all again. Obviously, long relationship with each of you. So great to see you all. Great to be on the show. Congrats for your double decades of success and keep it going because, well, the crowd loves it too.
Yeah.
But, you know, our sport is in a really special place right now. I think motorsport in general, but definitely endurance sports car racing. We're in an incredible place. You know, the fan attendance, the number of manufacturers, now 18 competing with us in IMSA, the global nature of our collaboration at the top category and now in GT with our partners at the ACO and the FIA. The fact that we have stable partners, but you're right. You kick off the season essentially with your Super Bowl in a lot of ways with the Rolex 24, and you know our staff takes time at the holidays to pump the brakes. You're right, but as soon as we got back in the office right after the holidays, it's full court press. Everybody's there. There's boxes everywhere, but it's a sign of a new season. A new exciting opportunities to grow. So we're excited in Daytona Beach, and hope you all are going to be able to either join us or tune in.
You can't avoid it being in our business. John Doonan, president of IMSA, joining us here in the Speed Freaks Biz. And John, you talk about the Rolex 24 being, again, the Super Bowl of a series. In this series, it makes sense to me. Daytona, I'm still conflicted. And again, I'm decades old. And
Talking about NASCAR?
Yeah, talk about NASCAR. Yeah, Daytona NASCAR and the Daytona 500. It's still one of the strangest things ever. It's like putting the Cowboys and the Patriots, the first game. Okay, this is the championship with the Cowboys and the Patriots, and then we're going to have an offseason. No, I understand it's different, but it makes more sense to have the Daytona 24 to kick off a sports car season.
It does, and you know when Bill France thought up the idea of an international sports car race at Daytona, his vision was best drivers, best manufacturers, best race teams in the world. And that's what we have now. Drivers can't wait to get to Daytona. It's a unique track with the banking and then using the infield. The teams, there's people that young men and women and these race teams that walk into the garage area for the first time, and you see the stadium, 101,000 seats there, and they're blown away about how big it is. And then, of course, the manufacturers all want to put a Rolex 24 trophy on their shelf. And as you know, every one of the drivers wants to put a Rolex Daytona watch on their wrist come Sunday afternoon.
All right, John, let's get into it. You brought up manufacturers. You have 18 different manufacturers in IMSA this year, 2024. So it makes me wonder, the offseason has been littered with good news for a lot of series and some not so good news for other series. How has it been that IMSA found a way to make the hybrid a reality, whereas IndyCar is still struggling and have yet to put it on the track in their series?
Well, when I got to IMSA, my eyes were open. You're a participant all these years, and I was on the OEM side. Obviously, we worked together in my Mazda days, all of you. You come in with a new set of eyes. When I was at Mazda as an OEM, I showed up to the races. Everything was organized, planned, and we put a race car on the trailer and went there to compete. We got there, we competed, we went home. I've got a huge realization now of what it takes to put these events on. And when I got to IMSA, we had a discussion as a staff and with Mr. France of what we wanted to be. And there's really three things. The growth that we've seen, I think, is because we've remained cost effective. All three of us and your audience knows racing's expensive, but you got to keep it cost contained. The second is we want to be entertainment, and there's no doubt with the number of cars and the close competition, that's what we are. Finally, to your point, Crash, is automotive industry marketing tool. And, as you watch the auto industry and there's news stories this week about certain brands not going to certain auto shows, which as a kid, we all went and collected all the brochures and dreamed of owning one of those cars at the auto show. The auto shows have changed, and I honestly think we've become an auto show. The manufacturers, they're doing it on track, no doubt, but they're using these events to launch new cars, entertain dealers, entertain owner groups, car corrals, and then tying what they're doing to the race at the racetrack to the road car, whether that's the actual design, the propulsion, or the hybrid versus the actual engine or powertrain. So we've become that, and I can't tell you how excited and honored I am, because I always thought that way as a kid. Like, what happens at the racetrack should apply to the road car and vice versa.
Do you think that it's just become so much more attractive in IMSA to be that kind of marketing tool versus some other series out there? I know Formula E is really, pushing, obviously, electronic racing, but at the same time, their form of open wheel racing, it seems to make sense there as well, but maybe not so much stock cars or even drag racing or IndyCar. It just, you guys make sense. Like you just said, the car show's changing, but are they changing in a way that IMSA is adapting the fastest?
Well, we're fortunate, so fortunate, to have a group of automakers that are open with us about what is relevant, whether that is hybrid like we launched in GTP, or sustainable fuels, which we launched in GTP last year. The idea that they can tell a brand story by the styling cues on the race car. So what I mean in my answer is we're collaborating with the automakers about what drives them. And all the things I mentioned, whether it's what makes the car go, how the car looks, the performance of the vehicle. We want to be relevant to what they need to tell their story. And so when we develop a set of rules, we're doing that with their feedback in mind. And I think that's one of the factors why they're there. Obviously, there's entertainment value, there's marketing value in our partnership with NBC. WeatherTech, Michelin, VP Racing Fuels, they've all decided that this is a place to tell their brand story too. And so we're in a great place. I'm excited, but we're just going to keep taking really good care of it.
John Doonan, president of IMSA, I want to kick back a little bit on the praise of the Rolex 24. Your first two events of the year at Daytona and at Sebring are half your season. If you look at laps completed or hours completed, and a lot of competitors have balked at that and have gone to other series where it's not as expensive. You're heavy in manufacturers. You got 18 manufacturers could spend a lot of money, but they could also decide at tables where you may not be present to blue pencil, and IMSA goes away in their budgets. Is that a problem on any level of what I just asked? The 24, 36 hours in your first two events, and manufacturers that spend a lot of money that support you, but any one of them could give you a headache when you're not at the table to decide what they're deciding.
Yeah, I mean, similar to what I was saying in Crash's question about the OEMs and their decision to come race with us. The second is, where do you want to race? And how can we broadcast that to an audience that's on site or an audience on our NBC platforms? They've given us feedback that the tradition of the Rolex 24 kicking off the season, and then roughly 6 weeks later, the Mobil 1 12 hours of Sebring being next. And then, hey, bookend it with Motul Petit Le Mans at Michelin Raceway Road, Atlanta. So the cadence of the season has a lot of date and venue equity. Their participation is being driven by their feedback to us. And I think they're speaking with not only running on track, but with their consumer displays on the midway.
Hey, John, can you hang around for another segment?
I'd love to. Thrilled to be with you guys. I'll stay as long as you'll have me.
John Doonan, president of IMSA, joining us here in the Freak Nation. Garage 56, the France family, it's fascinating. That's coming up. Speed Freaks Pits and Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Keeping your pride and joy perfect is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Start with Slick Mist Speed Wax. Simply mist on and wipe off for professional detailer shine. For your tires and trim, there's Lucas Slick Mist Tire and Trim Shine. Spray on and wipe off for better than new look. Then finish her with Lucas Slick Mist Interior Detailer. Just spray and wipe. Easy. Use Lucas Slick Mist Car Care products and she'll never look better. Fast, easy, and professional. Really, it's sort of like having an extra set of hands. Or 3.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAV TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAV TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAV TV, Motorsports Network.
As your power steering pump ages, seal leaks may occur, causing the power steering system to lose fluid. Your power steering system may also develop an annoying squeal, and the steering may become more difficult to handle. By using Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak, you will stop the seal leaks, reduce slack in rack and pinion, eliminate the squeals and hard spots in your power steering system. It is guaranteed to stop seal leaks or your money back. Lucas Power Steering Stop Leak. It works.
Freak Nation, head to your local General Tire dealership now to check out the latest additions to their product lineup. The Grabber family of tires are engineered for durability and feature innovative performance features that offer all-terrain capability, blending exceptional off-road durability and impressive on-road performance, all while sporting aggressive styling. For outstanding off-road performance coupled with strong street manners, look no further than General Tire. General Tire delivers for whatever you do, and the official tire of Speed Freaks since 2001.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text FIT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Freak Nation, lucasoil.com. I can't say it enough, man. A great website to check out. You got 2 wheels, 4 wheels in the garage, hell out front, covered in snow. What about that boat out there in the ice? Make sure you're running on Lucas Oil. Plenty of lubricants to get those rides back on the road. If they're in the garage over the winter, go to lucasoil.com. John Doonan, president of IMSA, still with us here in the Freak Nation. So many things to talk about, so little time. I want to get to the Garage 56 project and how it was a goal for Big Bill France back in the day. It fascinates me. Frankly, the success, what transpired in Le Mans last year. And when you read the story about really how this came about, go back and think about the old run runners and whiskey runners of NASCAR back in the day. But Big Bill France, in a lot of ways, was a forward thinker. And I think it was 1976 where they entered in Le Mans with a couple of cup cars at the time. But it was a goal of the France family to have a full-fledged American metal race car in Le Mans to be competitive, go out there and kick the ass of those Europeans. And frankly, what you guys did last year, you did that and more. Was this an initial project of why you were hired to be a part of this Garage 56? How much did IMSA play a part in this? How much did you play a part in this, John Doonan?
Well, I don't necessarily think it was why I was hired, but I remember the day. I'll never forget the day, and it makes my arms hair stand up. But Jim France walked in my office and sat on my couch in the office and said, "Hey, John, we're gonna take a NASCAR next gen Cup car to Le Mans. I'd like you to lead it. You don't necessarily get a chance to be part of history."
Hold on just a second. Just saying that.
Right.
We're going to take a NASCAR Cup car to Le Mans. That's like saying we're going to take a bucket of fried chicken to a 3-star Michelin restaurant. And we're going to kick the ass of those hors d'oeuvres that cost $500 an ounce. It sounds fun, but you understand my point?
Oh yeah, that's a great analogy.
It's a great.
But you mentioned Bill France Sr. and he had a vision. NASCAR was booming in the South in those days in the early to mid 70s, but he felt it needed more, and he thought we ought to go tell an international stage what NASCAR is all about. Jim wanted to recreate that. And he had the vision to do it with NASCAR's winningest manufacturer, Chevrolet, NASCAR's winningest team, Hendrick Motorsports, and NASCAR's tire partner since 1954, and Goodyear, of course. And so magical opportunity to work with a bunch of all-stars in the industry. You think of the people at Hendrick and what Chad Knaus, Greg Ives, Jimmy Johnson, Rick himself have accomplished with I think 14 Cup titles. You don't do that by accident. The folks at Chevrolet have been to Le Mans many times with Corvette Racing, won hundreds and hundreds of NASCAR races. It just was it was like a fraternity and a sorority came together. The special bond that was created between the people, and then just going there, I knew people, or I hoped people would like it. The sound, the thunder, the Americana of it. But they loved it. The fans were going crazy. When we pulled the car out of the garage, they're chanting USA, USA. Like it was just a mega feeling. And then to perform the way we did ahead of all the GT cars. I mean, our guys won the pit stop competition with a floor jack, a traditional NASCAR pit stop. So it was incredible, and it's living on. And Prime announced there's going to be a documentary, so everybody needs to watch for that in the early part of this year.
We've got so many great headlines with IMSA, whether it's the audience increase, the campground being sold out, 18 manufacturers, venue equity. You brought up that exact term earlier in this interview. And you're right. We're talking about Le Mans right now. Granted, that's not an IMSA sanctioned event, but IMSA teams go over there. But yeah, Daytona, Indianapolis, the Glen, Laguna Seca. So what is the goal? I mean, you seem like you've reached the peak or close to the peak. What is a goal for 2024? Is it just continuing to sustain this growth, or is there something bigger?
Great question. First of all, GTP, the new hybrid powered prototypes with an 80% renewable fuel and 4 manufacturers committed. That was a big story in 23, and it delivered. Lamborghini is joining us in a prototype in 24. We're hoping to see them kick off their program at Sebring. So big prototype news again in 24. 24 represents a GT battle like none other. There's more GT manufacturers racing in IMSA than in any other sanctioning body in the world. That'll be 11 manufacturers. The Ford Mustang is back in IMSA GT racing, a new Corvette, a new Aston Martin, cars from Ferrari, Lexus, Porsche, you name it, BMW, across the board. And I think that is a special story for this season. But overall, we got to refine everything we're doing, continue to push. There's no letting up off the accelerator when it comes to promoting the events, engaging with fans, and ultimately putting on the best possible show we can. And that comes in the form of balance of performance. So you get all these manufacturers together, a wide range of cars. You got to put on a good show. And so our technical team is working on how we balance all those cars to make sure everybody has a fighting chance.
Those are dirty words in IMSA, though. Those are dirty words.
D-O-P.
John Doonan, president of IMSA, joining us here in the Freak Nation. The 27th to 28th this month, the Rolex 24 gets kicking off. The eclectic feel. This is like a Bonnaroo or just a crazy rock and roll, easy listening, electronica, thumping type show, but
Trolls World Tour.
Trolls World Tour. Bam, had a girl crasher.
K-pop.
With the number of drivers, male, female, and countries and series that are coming over here to run this series, is the actual race the attraction, or frankly, the name of this race and trying to win the name of this race the attraction?
Well, you're stinking gonna strike a chord with me because I watched that race. Started when I was 9 years old, up in a cold living room in Chicago in the snow, praying that I'd have the chance to be there someday. And now in a variety of roles, I've done it, I don't know, 15 times. But the first horseshoe in the infield is called the International Horseshoe, and the reason it is because there's flags that fly. So when you watch the broadcast, please watch for that. And those flags represent the home country of every driver that's participating. And, whether you're wearing a certain brand or you're from a different country with a certain passport, when everyone comes there, they're doing one thing and speaking the same language, and that's passion for endurance. And you're right. It's a absolute gathering of the best. We got former Formula One world champion Jenson Button. We got Felipe Massa. You got IndyCar champions Scott Dixon, Joseph Newgarden, Alex Palou. You got Sebastian Bourdais. You guys got people that have won every form of the sport. You've got the sports car icons, multi-time champions from around the world, both at Le Mans and in IMSA. On Friday, you got Bubba Wallace and John Hunter Nemechek running a Toyota Supra in the Michelin Pilot Challenge race, the 4 hour. So it's really hard to describe the feeling to know that you're in the midst of the best. And the teams like Penske, Ganassi, Action Express, Ray Hall, Andretti with Wayne Taylor, Jimmy Vassar and Sully with Vassar Sullivan. You got the best of the best, and it doesn't get much better.
Freak Nation, January 28th, the Daytona 24-hour kicks off at Daytona International Speedway, or shall I say the 27th through the 28th at Daytona International Speedway. John Doonan, president of IMSA, joining us here in the Freak Nation. He's got to get the hell out of here so he can go get the fireworks set to scare the crap out of drivers.
9 p.m.
At 9 p.m. here outside of the backstretch. Doonan, it's fantastic to get you here in the Freak Nation. Happy New Year to you and much success this year, buddy.
Likewise, it's so great to see all three of you, and congrats to you, but your audience. You guys have a great group of folks following you. They're loyal, just like the IMSA fans are. And just know we're going to put on our best possible show starting off here in, hard to believe, about 10 days.
Again, the 27th and 28th of January, Freak Nation, the Rolex 24 Daytona International Speedway. More Freaks coming up. Speed Freaks Pits and the Lucas Oil Studios.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up for one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Hey, Dad, what are you going to buy at the store today?
I'm out of Lucas Oil fuel treatment, so let's jump in here and grab us some.
Well, do they have the Lucas Oil parts cleaner and degreaser?
I bet they do.
Well, how about the Lucas Oil power steering fluid?
You know, they'll have that too.
Even the octane booster?
I won't be surprised if they do.
My favorite red and tacky grease?
Yes, they will, babe.
Dad, when we're done, can we grab some candy?
Deal, but you gotta share.
Awesome! Lucas works.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. Three things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text FIT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
I can't thank Lucas Oil enough for being a part of the Freak Nation for well over 2 decades. Go to lucasoil.com to check out a line of products to keep all of your rides in your garage out there on your front lawn, off your front lawn. Go to lucasoil.com. Inside your engine, outside your engine, inside your car, outside your car. Man, they got it. Go to lucasoil.com. I want to get to NBC Sports and NBCSports.com here in a moment, but quickly, last night, Crash and I saw Steely Dan open up for the Eagles at where the Suns play, Footprint Center. Footprint Center, is that right?
Yes.
Footprint Center. And I'm reminded when I go see those older bands of the audience how took my daughter to Imagine Dragons last year, and a much younger audience. Foo Fighters was a younger audience. I could go on, but when I go to Phil Collins or I go to the Eagles or Bob Seger, something like that, I'm reminded about the etiquette and protocol of the older folks that are there. And it's part of my generation, but my gosh. Hey, turn your flashlight on. Right.
Your light on your phone's on.
I can't see the stairs.
That's true.
And
we had that.
Someone coming down our aisle says, "I'm sorry to ask you this, but can you move out of your aisle? Can you move? Because listen, I'm not going to a concert or sporting event if I can't sit on the aisle, right?" So he says, "I'm sorry to ask you this, but can you step out of the aisles so my wife can get down to her seat?" And I'm just going, here we are. We're at an Eagles show where the average age is older than me. And there's that. There is people people during the in between songs when it's kind of quiet and you'll hear personal conversations. My stomach's upset. Was it the beer, John? This conversations you don't hear when there are 30 or 40 somethings or even 50 somethings around you.
Meanwhile, these exact same people, this exact same audience, watching this exact same band, the Eagles in the 80s, were partying balls, and they were just chugging all their beers and just having so much fun. And honestly, the Eagles sounded the same as they did in the 80s. They haven't changed much. The audience has aged a bit.
I mean, remember, Joe Walsh is 74, 76. Mid-70s.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, he's old. Don Henley.
You sure they were all chugging things, Crash? They may have been
snorting some things.
Well, it's chugging.
Mm-hmm. Well, now they're chugging Pepto-Bismol in the stands. And there was a joke that Don Henley.
He, by the way, before you move on, sorry, I'm cutting you off for a reason. He looked and carried himself on stage as young and vivacious as he's ever been. He's doing something right.
Still pissed off, though.
Probably
he
still
didn't
pissed
smile. Maybe
he did.
The over-under
He smirked.
times he smiled in that 2-hour show are 5.
He smirked.
I'll go under with the 5.
Okay.
But one of the few times he spoke to the audience is when he said, "This show is brought to you by the American Pharmaceutical Company." And I thought, oh my God, they're high. The kids are on dope. Nope. Him, I think Randy Meisner and Vince Gill all came down or had the flu. And you could hear it in their voices a couple of times. Man, the balls of these dudes to get up there and perform and sing with the flu. And you could see Vince Gill, he had the congestion. You could hear from time to time because he was singing a lot of the Glenn Fry songs, a backup of Glenn Fry songs, since Glenn Fry is no longer with us. But I thought, they're old guys up there dealing with the same damn thing that we are.
I couldn't really tell that they were suffering. Vince Gill, yes, but not by much. He still sounded, and they brought this up last night, he still sounded better with the flu, hitting some of his notes better than somebody just Joe Schmo off the street could even talk. So yeah, they still crushed, absolutely crushed.
Don Henley sounded fantastic.
Yes.
He hit everything. Joe Walsh sounded awesome. His the songs they did in the city. Spoiler alert, sorry. In the city.
No. We also noticed last night they changed their playlist per city as well.
Yep.
Because Phoenix, where we are, had a different playlist than where were they just recently? Los Angeles.
So in the city, Rocky Mountain Way, Life's Been Good, and Funk 49 from James Gang. He played those 4 songs and just sprayed rock all over people's faces.
Yeah. Made them chug more Pepto.
Yes. But you just could see it was just a different audience than I'm used to with some of the younger music that I go.
You know what the great thing about that when you're telling that story is I can almost guarantee you that a lot of those older folks did not have their phones out recording the entire show, which is one of my biggest pet peeves about people my age and younger going to concerts is they have their phones out the entire show. Crash, don't you dare.
No. Richie, hold on a second.
I record a lot.
Listen,
I record a lot.
I've got a lot of knocks on some of the folks that were there, but there were a crap ton of people recording the show. So much so.
Oh, because it's their last tour.
There were digital signs throughout the interior and just for the show, basically saying, "Listen, you old a-holes, don't record the show. Put the phone down and enjoy." It's back. We're larger, like Joe Walsh said. He said, "Put the phone down. Quit looking at your screen. We're actually bigger than what's on your screen," because they had their screens were huge. I brought my freaking listen. I was the old guy that brought my binoculars because I always. Shut up, Richie.
He did.
Shut up. I like.
And we had close seats.
Okay, why do I? It's not like I want to watch their what
strumming.
Yeah, but I wanted to sound more like I knew what I was talking about, Crasher. I wanted to watch their guitar work, okay?
Okay.
And really their placement and so forth. That's what I do. I don't look at their face and, hey, look at his face, man. I'm watching them on the guitar, on the piano, what they're playing, what they're drinking, what they're playing through, what kind of mic they are, what kind of amp are they using. That's what I look at as a producer and as a music fan. Listen, sometimes the sound of the song, the actual words are just secondary to me. It's just really what's coming out of the pipes there. So I'm there I was probably the only guy in there with you're bitching about the old folks there, and
and you're Mr. Binoculars. But okay,
hold on. But my point was, Richie, they had all of the ushers had flashlights. And there was one dude that kept recording the show. And if you're watching us on MAV TV, I'm looking at you to my left over here. Was the guy recording, and then Scat Mandu over there with the freaking flashlight was shining at him right in my face. I couldn't see the damn stage.
Of course, in the middle of a song that is very loud, the usher guy is like, "Sir,
yeah,
sir." And I'm like, "You might want to be a little louder, sir."
It was 2 rows in front of us. What? Well, I'm not recording.
They let you. I'm surprised they let you keep your phones. There's a lot of people nowadays who make you check your phone at the door. You can't
actually. Don Henley a few years ago did do that. I've read on X.
Every show should be like that.
Yeah,
that's just me.
What would we do, Richie? What were we watching today, Crasher? Oh, we were watching Trolls 3, and they made reference to it 2 or 3 times in there where. Show me video or it didn't happen.
Oh,
right?
Show me video or it didn't happen.
I went
the
to
Eagles, Long Road to Remember or the Long Road to Retire, whatever.
Oh, well, you can show them your ticket.
No,
you can't.
Oh, no, you can't do that anymore either.
You can't do that. No, you can't show them your ticket anymore, man.
And that's what sucks for our daughter, our 10-year-old daughter. We've taken her to lots of concerts, obviously. Her last name is Henley. Don Henley is someone she's been fascinated with. No, she's not named after him, but because of the name's similarity, she's been fascinated with him. Anyway, I digress. We've taken her to several concerts and she has not a single ticket stub from any of them. And to me, I treasure my ticket stubs from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and they're no longer. So what do? We screenshot these digital codes for her.
Barcodes.
What are we going to do? Print them out and say, stick them in your scrapbook, baby. It's just weird. Here's something that I printed on my Canon 8300. It's just weird. You want the ticket stub, man. The blue and white little teeny tiny thing.
Listen, if you're just tuning in to watch us, by the way, sorry, Chelsea DeNofa can't get to you again tonight. I know you're waiting to get on. Formula D pilot. Sorry about that, buddy. But if you're watching us on MAV, I promise there was an hour and 50 minutes where we talked a whole lot of motorsports. We talked with your 250 points leader, Jordon Smith was in here. Mr. Doonan, as we call him, from IMSA, president.
Johnny.
And your pole sitter, Pipo Derani. Huge show. Thank you guys for being a part of this big old thing.
And I went on a
we got to go,
rant
Crash.
about
Shoot the
Aaron
juice to the
Plessinger.
moose and Statman. Say cut it loose, Statman.
Cut it loose.
See ya.
Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.
You take car maintenance seriously, and you want to pass on that legacy of care. Use Lucas Heavy Duty Oil Stabilizer to shield your engine from excessive heat, debris, and friction. Trust Lucas Oil. It works.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now.
Let's go! Yeah!
For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. It all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
The weekend racing is over, or is it? Not on MAP TV. Monday is All-American Racing Night on the network which never leaves the track. Sit back and enjoy grassroots red, white, and blue racing from America's most iconic tracks. Whether it's the precise lines of pavement ovals or the door-banging action of the dirt, MAP TV's Monday night lineup will bring you all the action from this country's legendary four-wheel battlegrounds. Monday night is All-American Racing, only on MAP TV, Motorsports Network.
Whatever you do, General Tire delivers.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Are you being audited or investigated? Has the IRS sent you a letter demanding payment? You may not owe what they claim. Make this free call to the tax doctor now. Let them negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. Call 800-631-9123. 800-631-9123. That's 800-631-9123.
At Lucas Oils that matter most. Lucas Oil. It works.
A healthy weight, more energy, and smooth, regular bowel movements. 3 things everyone strives for.
It's me, Chuck Norris. There's one really important thing we don't talk about enough: our health. Achy joints, digestive issues, weight gain, and fatigue. We're told these are normal signs of aging. So working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick.
Morning Kick is a revolutionary formula combining 10 different supplements in one. Probiotics that help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and several of the most powerful anti-aging supplements on earth. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, focused, and help manage stress.
Anybody can achieve great health regardless of their age.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com. Use code FIT or text FIT to 511-511 and claim 40% off today.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee.
Text FIT to 511-511. Morning Kick. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
You're listening to Speed Freaks, Motorsports Radio, redefined.